Hey, quick message before we start. Thank you for checking out this podcast, but this is going to be the last time I post an episode on this main channel. We're starting a new YouTube channel just for the podcast called Perhaps with Damon Garcia. So link will be in the description. Go subscribe to that one if you want to keep watching this podcast. You can watch this episode on this channel one last time, but if you want to keep watching it, go check out the new channel. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Perhaps. I'm your host, Damon Garcia, recording from beautiful Santa Maria, California on the Central Coast, and this is episode 3. We're here. We're 3 weeks in a row, every Friday. Tune in. By the way, this podcast is also on YouTube, if you didn't know, and the whole video version, me talking to this mic and this camera, but I've been posting it on my main YouTube channel that I've had for years, and now we're going to start posting this video podcast on a brand new channel just for the podcast, just called Perhaps with Damon Garcia. So I started a whole new channel. The first 2 episodes are already over there. If you haven't listened to those, you could go watch those over on the new YouTube channel. If you're just listening to the audio of this, which is also available all over wherever you get audio podcasts, you could keep doing that. But for those who like video podcasts, which I'm more in that camp, I actually hardly listen to audio podcasts. I like, if there's a video version, I like being able to see what's going on. But yeah, I started a whole new YouTube channel just for the podcast. And the main channel, I said in the very first episode, I'm not sure what I'm going to do moving forward with the other types of videos I used to do. But right now, I'm feeling like I have some ideas about some shorter videos that I want to do on the main channel, and then keep all the podcast stuff over here on this new channel. And a big reason why I'm doing it, or is it a few good reasons? One, I mean, just organizationally, it's cool, just to have the podcast have its own space and not feel weird about it, and just be able to do whatever I want podcast wise on the podcast channel, and nobody feels like, oh, well, I subscribe to Damon for these other videos. Why? I don't like this podcast. I'd rather watch it. It's like, cool. You don't have to. You could, if you want the podcast, go to the podcast channel. That's what we're doing. But also algorithmically, which is already a cringe thing to I haven't even said the sentence, but when you're starting a sentence with algorithmically, you already feel like a sellout. I get it. But hear me out, please. Hear me out. Algorithmically speaking, it is better for both channels because of just the ways that the algorithm has evolved on YouTube. A major thing is, like I had explained last episode, the purpose of these sites and apps is to keep you on for as long as possible, scrolling as long as possible, so you can see more ads, so they can make money off the ads. And one of the ways that they keep you on is by constantly feeding you the type of content that you seem to signal to the algorithm that you enjoy. And so that also includes duration of videos. If you seem to only be interested in like couple minute videos, it's going to keep giving you a couple minute videos. If you seem to only be interested in 15-minute videos, it's going to keep giving you 15-minute videos. If you seem to be interested in these long form podcasts that could go to 45 to an hour to 2 hours, 3 hours, then it will keep feeding you that. And it doesn't want to mix up those 3 categories of audiences too much, because it wants to keep giving you what you seem to want to see, which can be annoying for all of us because we're not bots. We're human beings. Also, our interests change all the time. And so it can get pretty annoying it constantly feels, I've always felt like this about the YouTube algorithm. Like, you don't know me. You don't know what I like. It's annoying, I know, but that's just how it is. And and so on the creator side, if people who are into like 10 to 15 minute videos are subscribed to me, and then I start giving them hour-long podcast videos, statistically, those people, a big chunk of those people, aren't going to be interested, which is fine, totally fine. I'm not trying to force anyone to be interested in what they're not interested in. But what ends up happening is how it works when a video gets posted is it'll show the video to like a test audience, almost a group of people that they want to see, a small group of people. And depending on how that small group of people engages with the post, that'll tell the algorithm whether they should push it out to even more people or not. And so if a lot of the people already in the algorithm of the viewers of my channel have already told the algorithm, signaled to the algorithm that they like shorter videos. And so when my hour-long podcast pops up in their feed and and to the like 15 people it decides to show, and most of those 15 people decide, nah, I'm good, scroll, which I, Damon, am totally fine with. From the algorithm, what it communicates is, oh, I guess this video isn't that good. I guess this video isn't good enough to serve to even more people. So we're going to stop pushing it out right here. But if a big chunk of those 15 people like it and they watch a good chunk of it, then YouTube will take that as like, oh, let's keep pushing it out more people. How'd that group react? Good. Push it out to more people. How'd that group react? Good. And that's how it works. It also pretty much works like that on Instagram and TikTok. And that's why like people get stuck on, people used to talk all the time about getting stuck in 200 view jail on TikTok. Like it just goes up to 200 and then it just stops. That's because it showed a quick 200 people and determined that quick 200 people didn't engage with it enough to convince the algorithm that it should show more than 200 people. This all could sound like so dystopian and terrible. And like, oh my God, these algorithms are controlling us, manipulating us. I know. I'm just explaining how it is. This is just the world we're living in right now. If you're trying to put stuff out there in the world for people to read and watch and listen to. And yeah, and I could go way deeper too. That was like my attempt at giving the most surfacey explanation to try to get you all to understand. But the other thing I wanted to say is the reason I was saying that was to say that's another reason why I'm starting a new YouTube channel, so that I'm starting from scratch, kind of, sort of, on the new channel, so it could push it out to a new group of people and see how they engage with it. And there's nobody on this new YouTube channel who just want the short videos, who are just scrolling right past it. Then over on the main channel, yeah. Oh yeah, and then it would affect, yeah, if I were to keep doing these long videos on the main channel and then do some short videos, even less people would see, even the people who want to see the short videos, even less of them would see the short videos after, because YouTube thinks, oh, this person must not like Damon Garcia anymore because they didn't watch the last couple of videos they posted, when the only reason was because they just prefer to watch the shorter videos and not the longer ones. Anyway, this is why you gotta subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Also follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my newsletter, Substack. The Substack newsletter is like the closest thing we got to like not being completely ruled by that type of algorithm. There's also algorithm issues over there, but not as heavy. But yeah, stay with me, folks. Stay up to date. Make sure you stay in the mix, because we could lose each other. That's just what happens. But anyway, oh yeah. Anything an obvious question is, bro, why do you care so much about the algorithm, man? Which I get. Like I said, when you start a sentence with algorithmically, you automatically feel like you're starting to sound like a sellout. But let me give you a different perspective. And I really want my creative friends to listen up on this, because I have creative friends who have thought like this, and I've thought like this in the past. This mindset of, I just want to be creative, bro. I don't want to have to care about the algorithm and audience engagement and getting more views and followers and likes and comments, and all that just ruins my creativity, ruins the art. And all that is legit. And it does ruin creativity and art, for sure. But I also don't like to think too much in extremes. And I think there's a version of that thinking that can be too extreme, to where you start discounting what your work can actually do and mean for people if you put in effort to get more people to see it. Because I think a more healthy relationship with trying to appease the algorithm. I mean, an unhealthy version is just doing whatever you think the algorithm wants and following trends and not being yourself. Blah, we don't want that. But I think a healthier version is to just, first off, be honest with yourself. Do you believe that your videos, your articles, your posts, your blogs, your books, whatever, do you believe your creative work is worth it? Like, do you believe that it's valuable for other people? Do you believe that other people will be helped by it, either because of some good advice on it, or some good insight, or entertainment value, or just, yeah, any sort of, like, would it actually interest people and be of value to people? Do you actually believe that? I know a lot of creative people struggle with that question. Some would be an immediate yes. Some would be like, oh, well, I don't know, not yet. There's a lot of creative people I know that would be like, no, I don't like, no, I want is the least amount of people to see as possible. And for those people, yeah, do what you want. But don't get mad if your stuff barely gets any views. Like, if you want the least amount of people to see it, then be cool with it. But if you think that this would actually, like, I'm here for a reason, dog. I want to help people. I believe in what I'm saying. I have a message that I think would be really valuable for people and help with the culture and help with people's mental health and spiritual health and political advocacy, and would help make people more whole and form healthy, creative, flourishing relationships with themselves and others in the world. If you really believe that, then I think we need to wrestle with a bit of creative ego that can pop up in these conversations, and start to consider, well, if I really believe in this thing, then maybe I should start to consider, I'm trying to say this in the best way possible, start to consider what would get more people to see this thing. You know? It's that simple. It isn't, you don't have to be just a bot, a robotic servant to the algorithm. And you don't have to be a sellout. It could just be as simple as, okay, yeah, there's some things I can do that could get more people to see this message that I really believe would help people. So let's start a new YouTube channel that would ensure that it would help algorithmically more people could potentially see it. And even shorter stuff, like, okay, yeah, let's have a catchy little hook at the beginning. Let's have some visuals. Let's do some things that'll help people pay attention better. And let's try to keep it short and simple and clear so that people don't get lost. Like, those may feel so icky at the beginning because it feels like it's threatening the creative juice, the creative will, the creative passion. But it doesn't have to be. They could go together pretty beautifully, I think. And it really just comes down to, do you believe in what you're saying? Do you think it would actually help people? Then why wouldn't you try to do things to get more people to see that? That's it. That's all. We're not sellouts out here. It's not like, yeah. There's so much more I could go into this. I love having this conversation, especially with my other creative friends. Partly because this is something I've learned over the years of doing this stuff. It's been many years now that I've been making stuff and putting it out there, and in a lot of different ways: videos, long videos, live streaming, podcasts, Instagram stuff, books, promoting a book, doing stuff to promote the book. I've been around, so something I've learned, and I've had to go through a lot of reframing to make this healthier and make it more sustainable. But I also like talking about it with other creative friends, because it could be a little bit taboo sometimes for my creative friends to have conversations like these. But like I said, you'll probably hear me. I was to say, like I said, I could talk about this for a long time, but you'll probably hear me talk more about this theme of conversation in future podcasts. But I wanted to give a little bit of that conversation, as I told you a little bit about why I created a whole new YouTube channel for the podcast. So there's my little PSA for my creative homies, and also an update for where you can find the video version of this podcast. Now here's another thing. Here's another little helpful thing. Algorithmically, I feel like I still feel so silly saying that. It helps to, at the top of your little thing, of your post, of your podcast, of your video, to make clear what you're going to talk about in the whole thing. I forgot to do that. Oh, well. So it's like, I care, but also I don't care too much, So yeah, we forgot. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to talk about today, like I was supposed to do at the very beginning. And I also don't care if this gets low views. I also don't care if I'm doing or saying things in a way that makes it get low views. It's like, whoever will see it will see it. Also, I'm still just starting out. I'm going with the flow, So anyway, I wanted to talk to you about, starting that new podcast channel. I wanted to talk another update on the TikTok ban. We talked about that last week. I wanted to talk about the Trump inauguration a couple days ago, and also some TV shows. Let's do that. So TikTok. I didn't think they were going to do it. You heard me last week on this podcast. I talked about it, but I said, no, I don't. I know there are these politicians that got stuck in Meta that are really pushing for this ban, and that's what was really going on. But there's these other business people all over the United States that are making bank from their TikTok videos, but also marketing their business through TikTok. They're not gonna let this happen. And then it happened. I was like, oop, what? I was for those that don't know, a little message popped up when you open TikTok saying, I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was like, you can't open this, and you're in your region. This app is gone. But we are in discussion with President Donald Trump, and this was like a couple days before he was even inaugurated. There you go. Before that, and it was like, we're in discussion with Donald Trump. He's willing to work with us, so stay tuned. And I was out with some friends at my friend's little local concert, and we were just like, oh my God, I guess that's it. And then I just got really sad, not for my own TikTok, but I just like it's especially being surrounded by some of my creative friends at that show. I just realized, like, oh my God. So I know so many people that have put so much work into creating art that just went to TikTok. Like some really good stuff that took a lot of time and energy that was just there on TikTok. That's where you had to go to see it. And then I just realized, like, oh my God, this is like this is almost like the burning of the Library of Alexandria. Like all this stuff, and other people were talking about this, but honestly, I would come across a video where someone would start talking about that idea that, oh my God, we're going to lose all this content. And I would just scroll because I was like, nah, this isn't going to happen. Whatever. I don't need to watch this. And then it all just hit me like, oh my God. I saw other people also talking about before the ban how messed up this is that so much education is also going away. So much political education, so much historical education, literature education. People like legit, not just these guys who like, I do my own research and go on Wikipedia and tell you about like how about the lost books of the Bible and they totally get everything out of whack. There are lost books of the Bible, but a lot of these people do not know how to approach that conversation and they make such whack videos. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. There are many problems with TikTok, but I'm talking about the people, the actual scholars who realize TikTok is an awesome place to educate people. And so they use TikTok to really take the stuff that they've written in these scholarly articles and books and make it simple and short and succinct and put it on TikTok, and it really opened the minds of so many people, but also a lot of political education that you can't even get published because of how like censored some of this stuff can be. And talking about that and resources, so many resources for people, and all of that was gone. So like I said, it all just hit me like, whoa. Like some people even say it's like Vine. Like all that stuff on Vine. But that was all silly shit. Some of that did take a lot of effort. Art that took a lot of effort, but this was different, you know? And so I was just so sad. Then 14 hours later, it was back. Like nothing ever happened. Me and my friends were posting on Instagram like, oh my God, it's done. I can't believe it. One of my friends was like, I'm unwell. I can't function. I saw other people being like, y'all don't understand. My Reels algorithm sucks. I'm just seeing like children fighting each other and zits being bursted, and my TikTok algorithm was peak. It knew me so well. And I was gone. Went to sleep, woke up, it's back. So, and it said, so I don't remember exactly too, but that message also was like, thank you, President Donald Trump, for bringing it back. Oh my God. And a lot of people were saying, yeah, this is just all for show. This is all just to make Trump look good. But it's funny because, like, it was too short to really make Trump look that good. Or it was like a TikTok thing where, like, they knew they weren't going to get banned, but they just wanted to, like, signal to Trump that they want to be friendly. I don't know. I don't know what happened. But it's back. Like nothing ever happened. There's this dude I found on TikTok. He does this anime little dance every single morning. And it's like doing the something something dance every day until I get a girlfriend. And I forget the day, but it's been 5 years. Every single day for 5 years. And bro didn't even miss one day. He posted it that morning. TikTok got banned that night. Next morning, woke up, it was unbanned. He posted his next video of him doing his little dance until he gets a girlfriend. There's just also this girl who started doing the same exact thing, the same dance, the same song every day until she gets a boyfriend. She started, I think, like 4 months ago. And all her comments are filled with people being like, so I know this guy. I know the perfect person for you. But they're still going. It's still going like nothing happened. Red Note, I have not opened Red Note. Actually, I hadn't opened Red Note since TikTok came back. I don't even think I opened it before the ban. And then I opened it right before I started this podcast. Was immediately bored. I'm like, damn. Well, that's over. But yeah. Shout out all my creative homies. Shout out all my educator homies making stuff online. It sucks that in order to get stuff out there, we have to play with all these whack social media apps that make it really hard to be authentic and be creative in the way that we think would be the most helpful to us and to people we make stuff for. It sucks. Even if you want to make stuff outside of social media, like books, you still gotta, these days, with traditional publishing, become basically a content creator in order to get your book out there, get anyone to pay attention. That's just how it is these days. I'm with y'all. It sucks. But yeah, it's I go back and forth. There's days where I feel really good about this new age because more people who wouldn't have had an opportunity to get their voice out there now have that opportunity, including your homie Damon Garcia. Like, I don't have a degree in anything. I don't have a degree in anything. And yet, I'm here. I don't have I never got an ordination, licensing, none of that when I was doing ministry stuff. I was headed toward that, and then I stopped before I was going to get my pastoral license. I did a little bit of Bible college online through this like ministry internship program I was doing, which I did finish, but that was like a little certificate for their little program. I did some local community college sociology for a bit, left for a while, came back, studied communications for a bit. I did a film class, did most of the communications speech classes there at that community college, a lot of the sociology classes. I thought, stuff kept happening. Like I would get hooked onto it, be like, let's keep going, let's get an associate's. And then something would happen in life where I just completely got sidetracked. And now I don't have a degree in anything. But I say all this to say, in the past, I think it would have been way harder for someone like me to get an opportunity to write a book, get a traditional publishing deal, go around speaking at these conferences and events and that I've been doing. And nowadays, I think what really matters is attention. Like that's been an evolution because of social media and everything, in good ways and bad ways. We're so used to the bad ways that we all talk about, that people just doing things for attention and being so inauthentic. But also, if you got something good to say, and you could just say it online and get a little bit of attention for it, then you could also get some other opportunities. Like, I got a book deal, and I put out a book in 2022, and now I'm writing another book with the same publisher, with Broadleaf, and it's kind of like, yeah, things have evolved, and so, oh yeah, but I was saying, I go back and forth on this stuff. Some days it's like, I think it's really cool, actually, that I get to do this stuff, get to put stuff out there for free, and people can engage with it from across the world. And you weren't able to do this kind of thing before so easily, so accessible for everybody. And then other days it's like, oh no, this sucks. This is terrible. Art is dead. Literature is dead. Culture is dead. Oh my gosh. But that's life, you know? It's never all the way one or the other. It's complex. Yeah, thank you all for sticking around. You all are here because you found me on social media. Most of you. And I do got a few local homies listening to this podcast. Shout out Santa Maria. Shout out Orchid. Shout out Lompoc. Shout out San Luis Obispo. Shout out Santa Barbara. Shout out Cambria. I think that's it. Those are all on the 805 Central Coast, California. We out here. Thank you all. I love you. Hey, want to know you could go to I could go to my Instagram in the what's it called? The analytics, the settings, and see like analytics on your followers and let me pull it up. What cities do you like, the percentage of your followers, cities? I can't talk. I don't know how to say this. But professional dashboard, followers, I can see a percentage of like age groups. I can see a percentage of men and women. I could see top locations, cities, countries. So let's see here. The cities, this is why I wanted to bring this up, because I was shouting out cities. My top location. Wait, how many followers do I have? 4,500. 4,500 followers. My top location is 2%. 2% is the biggest percentage. Where do you think it is? I'm saying this like I'm looking at, I keep glancing at the camera like I'm waiting for y'all to guess. Guess what it is, everybody. Perhaps it's no, I don't know. New York. That's what it is. 2%. But it's partly because there's a whole bunch of people in New York. And then under that is my hometown, with my homies following me. 1.8% Santa Maria. Then under that, 1.4% Los Angeles. I only know a few people in Los Angeles. Then under that, 1% Chicago. Chicago used to be, I think, like the number one place. And then some more New Yorkers followed me. And under that, 0.8% San Diego. And then that's all I can see. But let's see countries. 81% United States, 4% Canada, 3% UK, 1.5% Australia. Shout out my Australian homies. I was about to attempt an Australian accent, but all I could think of is, oh no, only 1.5%. Oh no. Okay, anyway, New York. If you're from New York, let me know if you're one of those New Yorker homies. I want to go visit New York. Let's hang out, 2%ers. Let's move on. What else we got? Oh yeah. Okay, the inauguration. I'm gonna take a drink of water for this one. Bro, I don't want to talk about Trump. Or at least I don't want to talk about Trump all the time. Dude, when Trump won, I think one of my first thoughts was like, crap, by the end of this 4-year term, it's gonna feel like Trump was president for 12 years. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of Trump. Because his campaign basically kept going during the whole 4-year Biden term. And the Trump supporters stayed strong and arguing and constantly talking about Trump and Trump this, Trump that. 12 years. It's gonna be. We'll see what happens after that. But dude got inaugurated and I got inebriated. No, I'm just kidding. I actually didn't. I ignored all the inauguration stuff all day that day, and then decided to look into it on my own, piece by piece, over the couple of days following. And so I watched the speech, his speech, Elon's speech, a few of the other clips, and dude, so much of this is just about vibes. Like, this doesn't actually, it's not actually about helping people practically. I mean, so much of the rhetoric is about helping American working class people from the disastrous economy that Biden left them. And it is a disastrous economy, but that disastrous economy has been disastrous since before Biden. Also, since before Trump, and before Obama, and before Bush, and before Clinton. Like, there's been this long collapsing of the economy. I want to give a lot of blame to Reagan, but it goes before Reagan too. But the neoliberalism of Reagan, the deregulation of businesses and trickle down economics, and the slow, disastrous consequences of that has just been upheld by every president since, Republican or Democrat, is why we're experiencing this economic disaster. It's not just because Biden got in and signed some executive orders, be like, I'm pro economic disaster, I'm pro inflation, I'm pro gas prices go up, sign executive order. Some of these Trump supporters are so silly that they make it seem like that's what happened. But no. This is deeper, longer, more complex than that. And I say, like, so much of it seems like just to be about vibes, because so much of it is just culture war. It's Trump talking about, like, it's the golden age. We're in the golden age now, where, like, we all love America. We're gonna talk about how glorious our country is. No more social engineering of race and gender in every private and public sphere. What else did he say? The government officially only recognizes 2 genders, male and female, and we're gonna be we're going to immediately declare an emergency at the southern border and deport people, and we're going to create a stronger military to defeat our enemies. And then dude has the nerve to say, I want my legacy to be of being a peacemaker and a unifier. Dude, this so much of Trump's spirit is vengeance after vengeance, tapping into Americans' desire for vengeance and giving them something to be mad about, giving them something to be afraid of, and then giving them a reason to believe that he's going to save them from it. he's going to bring that vengeance that they hunger for. It's not real peace. It's not real unity. You just declared trans people to not exist, which is ridiculous. And this, again, doesn't actually help anybody. This is just culture war bullshit. This is just, a lot of this is just ideas in people's heads being different. And changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. So that it's so much symbolic shit that we're going to see in the Trump administration. And yet the prices are going to be the same. Inflation is going to get worse because of the tariffs, because putting tariffs on China he straight up said in the inauguration speech that that'll make it so that we receive money from foreign sources. No, tariffs are punish the American companies. American companies get products from China or pieces of their product from China, and he's putting a tariff on Chinese imports that the American company has to pay, not China. The American company, if they want to get something shipped in from China, has to pay an extra tax. That's what a tariff is on that Chinese import. So then when they sell the thing, they're not going to take the hit. They're going to make the price of their product higher for the customer to balance it out. So we're paying the tariffs. And no money's coming from foreign sources through a tariff. Oh my God. I'm like stopping myself from just like screaming. Because like none of this is real practical help to working class people. It's changing ideas in heads, doing a bunch of symbolic shit that doesn't mean anything. And yet so many people are just going to applaud Trump, be like, yes, our country is back. But the things he actually is going to do is deporting people. The raids have already started. He is going to continue to put in policies that harm trans people, but also harm women who want to, or women or anyone trying to get abortions. He's going to continue. It's like, and the shit that he's going to do is going to harm people that have been speaking up about if Trump gets in office, this is what's going to happen. And then a lot of these supporters who are well off and white and privileged, nothing's really going to change for them. I mean, the things that will change will not be a result of Trump making good changes. The things that will change will be a result of the world getting worse through the oppression of marginalized people. Like our communities will look different. Like less, deporting more immigrants means less immigrant labor, means the whole economy is going to function differently in a very noticeable way. But I'm sure any bad thing that happens, it'll get blamed on Biden. But it's all just such a mess. And I think another reason I don't like talking about Trump a lot is because obviously I'm not a fan of Trump. Also wasn't a fan of Biden. I'm very leftist in my political views, which is left of Democrats. But some of other people that I see criticize Trump, I think they make it too moralistic. Like the way they talk about Trump is as if Trump is a bad guy, an evil villain who wants to destroy the world and just gets off on destroying the world like a comic book villain. But it's like, that's not real. That it's about self-interest. It's about power, self-interest, attention, money. And he's doing things that will give him and his homies more power and money. So it's like, from his perspective, he's looking out for himself and people he likes, which can manifest in evil actions, but reducing it to, well, Trump is just an evil man who does evil things because he's evil, I think totally misses what's actually going on. And it misses it in a way that makes it harder to combat. Because if it's just an evil guy doing evil things, we think, what, we got to talk more? We got to preach more about how to not be evil? I don't think that's what it is. There's systemic changes that need to happen that will transform a system that doesn't create these situations where people can oppress people in order to protect their self-interest. The whole system that thrives off of the oppression to satisfy the ruling class needs to be changed. Like that's the type of conversation we need to have, not, well, Trump is evil, people who voted for him are evil, so we need to talk about why people shouldn't be so evil. Like you get what I hope you get what I'm saying. I mean, I'm down to call him evil, but I just don't see it actually helpful toward any meaningful change. I hope you understand what I mean. But this also gets me to but actually, hold on. My mind just went a few different directions. I wanted to say that this is Trump's game as well. Like, this is how he's getting so many votes, is the moral game, is this good guys, bad guys narrative. The whole rhetoric is, those are the bad guys over there, those are the bad guys over there, those are the bad guys, those are the bad guys, the immigrants are the bad guys, the trans people are the bad guys, that group of Democrats are the bad guys. Those are the bad guys. And then what he does from that, foreigners are the bad guys. Foreign powers are the bad guys. And then what he does from there is say, we're the bad guys. We're the good guys. You, my friend, who agree with me, are the good guys. And I am your redeemer. I am your savior. I am going to save you from the bad guys that I made you afraid of. When really it's much more complex than that. The economic destruction that so many people are pointing to as a reason for voting for Trump is a real thing, but it's not happening because of marginalized people. It's not happening because of immigrants. Crime waves aren't even happening because of immigrants. Crime is happening. I think that's where the conversation gets so annoying. Is it seems either to be like crime and poverty and struggling to make ends meet and buy things and provide for your family is real versus, oh no, everything's actually fine, which was partly what the Democrats were doing in the election. But I think the conversation that needs to be had is, oh no, yeah, these things are very real, but the people you're being told to blame, that's bullshit. That's not what's going on. It's the people pointing. It's the people pointing to those people. It's these oligarchs. It's these billionaires standing behind Trump, the billionaire, who are so happy that they got people thinking that other powerless people are the ones who are taking your power. And I think it's unhelpful to be like, oh no, actually they're the good guys, they're the bad guys. It's people who are in positions to protect their self-interest in a way that oppresses people and to protect their self-interest. And we need to change a system that incentivizes that. You know? I believe good and evil are a thing, but it's much more complex, and it deserves to be taken more seriously on this more complex level if we want to make changes. Which brings me to, this is what I was going to say earlier, the Nazi salute that Elon Musk did on stage. Let me take a drink of water. Oh, man. I saw the clip. I was like, no way. Let me see the fuller clip. Oh, he did it twice. Okay. No way. Let me see the fuller clip. And sure, Elon did say something about I'm giving my heart to you. I'm extending my heart to you, which is the argument for the defenders saying that that's what he was doing. He was trying to show a gesture of giving his heart to the, because he slammed his chest and then stuck his hand straight out, very clearly. Nazi salute. Now here's the thing. I may make some of you mad about this, but it's okay. It's a podcast. One, was it a Nazi salute? Yes. But on a technicality. Like if we're talking literally, was that movement a Nazi salute? Obviously, yes. Because that is what a Nazi salute looks like. But, two, did he mean to do a Nazi salute? That's a much different question. And I think this whole discourse is getting so annoying online because we can't agree on that first question before we even get to the second question. Oh no, he didn't mean to do that. He's just an awkward guy. He was just doing the Roman salute. He was just extending his heart. No, he literally did it. But I give y'all, he may have done it on accident. Okay, but he did it. He did do it. And it may have been an accident, but he did do it. He did do a Nazi salute. And it may have been, ooh, don't you love that? We're not playing the extremes on this. That's why I'm in therapy, dog. I too long I've wrestled with all or nothing thinking. Extremes. We're not playing that game. Screw that. Yes, he did do a Nazi salute. Yes, he may have done it on accident. And maybe I might win some of you back with this one. He may have done it on purpose too. I'm totally willing to admit that too. He may have done it on purpose. Here's what I find to be a way more interesting point. Because I don't know I can't read his mind. I don't know if he did it on purpose or accident. He did it. I don't know if he did it on purpose or accident. Here's what I find way more interesting. We live now under an administration that doesn't care if they look like Nazis. That's the real T. Is that an applicable term here? That's the real shit, my friend. That's how it's been since 2016. Like, Trump has been doing things and instilling policies and repeating rhetoric that resemble Nazi policies, Nazi rhetoric, Nazi symbolism. But they don't care. I think we're so used to this culture of not wanting to look morally bad. Like, our culture is so obsessed with not looking like you're a bad guy that it seems to care more about that than not being a bad guy. But Trump doesn't play that game, and Trump and friends don't play that game. We're used to playing that game ourselves, and we're used to expecting everyone else to play that game. That if you do a Nazi salute and somebody says, was that homie, was that a Nazi salute? What we're used to responding with is, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. What? No, wait. No. Everybody, hold on, everyone. No, it wasn't. Oh my God, I feel so silly. Oh my. And some of you may even start crying at this point. Oh my God, no, I promise. I promise it wasn't. That is like, I think, become such a normal, or sometimes it's so much less dramatic. Sometimes it's just, oh man, no, I didn't mean that. Whoops. I mean, sometimes it is also that simple. But in this administration, there's none of that. No version of that. Not the soft or the dramatic version of that. He'll do it, whether it was on purpose or accident, and then just laugh about it. And just laugh about the media calling him out on it, and use it as part of his larger, a part of his larger scheme of building distrust in all media that he doesn't control. And so I think that's the truth. I think that's what we can really take from that event with Elon on that stage doing the Nazi salute, is that he doesn't care about looking like a Nazi, and Trump doesn't care about having policies and rhetoric that make him look like a Nazi, such as demonizing foreigners, demonizing and claiming that all these, at least most immigrants are criminals, and that we need to get rid of them and have a pure, unified nationality, and that we need to bring America back and make it great again, and have a unified culture, and we need to get rid of any sexual diversity. Like, this is all rhetoric that is shared by the Nazis. I've never been one to say, oh yeah, you're a Nazi, or that's a Nazi. Because again, it feels unhelpful if we want to make actual changes, especially because it's so easy to respond with, no, I'm not. And then it's then it's pretty much over. But I think what we're starting to see is the old response to people doing Nazi shit. We're used to just having the response of, hey, you're doing Nazi shit, and then something being done about that. That doesn't work anymore. That isn't the most powerful people in the country don't care about looking like Nazis. So saying, hey, that's kind of Nazi-ish, doesn't do anything anymore. So we got to switch shit up, okay? We got to have deeper, more complex conversations saying, hey, I think you're acting like a bad guy. Hey, I think you're similar to some of these other bad guys of the past. Doesn't do anything anymore. We need to have deeper, complex conversations about systems and changing systems, and not just get stuck on the moral conversation. Let me be clear. Some of you may have misunderstood me in this podcast. I'm not saying to give up the moral conversation entirely. I think it's important. Definitely. Very, very, very important. Especially interrelationally, for sure. More, and I think more so when it's interrelationally. But when we're talking about powerful people in charge of powerful systems, oppressing us through those systems, and other people benefiting from those exploitative systems, waving your finger and saying that's bad, it's not. It's important. I'll give you that. But if you want to change things, that's not enough. So I'll tell y'all right now, everybody, now is the time to speak up for sure. Call out Trump, who said that his legacy is to be a peacemaker and a unifier. Every time he shows that he's not, call that out. And on top of that, it's time to start thinking about serious change in this new administration, and start to wonder why some of our old solutions didn't work to keep someone like Trump out of office. So I wanted to talk more about some TV shows, but I'm going to just save that actually for another episode, because we've gone pretty long, and I think this feels like a good place to close it out. So I'll say real quick, Severance is back. If you have not watched Severance, seriously do it, and then let me know in these comments or elsewhere. If you've been listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, leave a review, a rating. Spotify, leave a rating. I don't know if you could leave a review, but you do your thing. Leave a comment on YouTube. Let me know some of your thoughts. Like and subscribe, on the new channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate you all. And we'll be back next Friday. See you later.